So this is the tank right here. Um, these are the two lights that I was talking about. They're called pendants, and they hang from the ceiling like that. You don't. It doesn't take a lot. Like, you don't really have to brace them up. All you have to do is just put these two pegs that they have in there. It's already built into the light system, and it holds it just fine. Like, it's not gonna come out. It's pretty secure. Um, as you can see, it looks pretty nice. All the water that enters the tank is gonna drain through this big round thing in the back. It's called the overflow. It drains through the top, and as you can see, it just drains through these tubes, and it comes out from the bottom, goes down this tube, enters this chamber, then it flows to the next one underneath, travels through this it's called the refugium, or a sump, which is basically all rocks and some algae to help clean the water. It goes through this sponge to remove like all the big particles, and then finally this is the return pump that returns back up to the tank, out through these two nozzles you see here. Some more about the bottom. These are like these black boxes here are called the ballast. What they basically are amps for the lights, because they require a lot. I think they're 250 watts each, so they require much more power than your regular lighting. This is a protein skimmer. It's a little bit less than what's required for this type of tank. This is a protein skimmer usually used for like a 40-gallon tank, like the one that I had before. But however, I haven't really had any like real problems like not using this, so I've been using it ever since. Like, you can purchase a new one if you want. It probably costs you around like 200 for a new one for like for what's required, but you really don't need to get that. What I'm gonna do is when I deliver it to your house, I wanted to redo the plumbing, because as you can see, I don't know what I was thinking about putting this hole here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it down and I'm gonna put it to two tubes, so like sometimes it can get a little bit noisy, so this will most likely cut down the gurgling that you will hear. These little balls here are called bio balls. They contain like certain bacteria that kills any ammonia spikes, and also some beneficial other bacteria. And as you can see, there's like things growing, and like you can see starfish, and somewhere in there is like arthropods, these little bugs that are actually really good for your tank. What else would I do for this tank is I would actually, this is all up to you, this is my personal preference. In this sand, there's like, you see these tiny little pebbles. I was trying to go for that look when I first set it up, but now after a while I really don't like it. I would rather like a nice smooth sand bottom. If you want, you can choose it to be a little bit thinner or thicker. Like you see here, I try to create like a little wave. This here is a power head. It pushes I think a little bit over 2,000 gallons per hour through the blades inside of it, and I also have like a little bit of smaller one here. I think it pushes around 1,600 gallons per hour, And I also still have like some coral, like some zinnias, they pulse right behind. As you can see, they're just going like crazy. And also the return pump, it's called like a quiet one, because it runs really quiet, like you could barely hear it. And this is, it runs, I think it's around 2,500 gallons per hour as well. And this is the tube that I was telling you that I wanted to replace because it's a little bit short. Because as you can see, if I move it, it's kind of constricting because I cut it a little bit short. And you don't have to worry about the lighting because I have this switch here that automatically turns it on, I think at 2 o'clock, and then shuts off at 11:44 on the dot. So that's roughly, I think it's a little bit more than 8 hours, I'm not really sure. But you can set it to however long you want it to be. And I also have this little bullshit light here, and that turns off too. And I would suggest probably switching this out to like a smaller one so the caulerpa on the bottom could grow, because with this light right now it doesn't really grow. I have a separate tank for growing it. I also have these Ricordea mushrooms. You could barely see because they blend into the rock, but I don't know, those are kind of expensive. I think they're like $10 or $15 per polyp, and I have like 4 of them. And then I have some pretty big green mushrooms here, and I have this one pink and green mushroom. It's pretty cool looking. I think it's about to split. It gets really big. And I have some brown button polyps and more zinnias here. Again, we can talk about like what you want to achieve in the tank. If you would like to go more coral or more fish, then we can we'll definitely talk about that. Also, these the light bulbs for the metal highlights, you need to be replaced. They are generally replaced like once a year or twice a year. I haven't replaced them in like, I don't know, it must be like 2.5 years, because again, I don't have any coral, so I don't see any need to replace them. But this left one is kind of getting dim. It's not as strong as it is. But that's about it. If you have any other questions, let me know, and we'll talk more about them. Alright, see ya.